Hello YouTube, this is Ben from the photography team, coming back to you now with a video I've said I've been going to do for a while, and that's the reason why I moved from Apple Mac to Windows. Okay, so you'll join me now, and I just want to give you a rundown of why I've decided to move from Apple Mac to PC and Windows 10. I've been a Mac man for many years. iPhones, iPads, iMacs, MacBooks, Mac Minis, you name it. I've had most of them, if not all of them. I love Apple. I love their design. I love their operating system. Just so many things about Apple I do like. Windows has always been a funny thing. I've always said I hated Windows and I'd never go back to Windows and all those types of things, but I think you sometimes get stuck and you get into a rut with things and you don't explore outside the box often, and I think I'd ended up in Apple's world, fully embraced with iCloud, iPhones, Apple Watch, and I kind of decided, well, Apple to me is quite expensive. It's quite a luxury, and recently, over the last couple of years, my family's growing, and you know, money's become one of those things that you can't just throw around on a few £1,000s worth of Apple Macs. So I decided to look at Windows and Windows 10 to see if it was a viable option, to be a cheaper option, but also for other things I'm going to explain about. So I decided to buy an Apple MacBook Pro 2016 version as an upgrade to the current Mac I had. It was the one with the touch bar, the 13-inch one, and I bought the 13-inch as a portable thing, and I then come and docked it into a larger monitor. It was great. The design of it, beautiful. The monitor, the screen on it, absolutely flawless, really nice. I was extremely frustrated by the end of using it with the USB-C only connectivity. I had bought multiple dongles in order for me to connect up cameras, download SD cards, connecting any type, USB equipment, and it just become annoying. Part of me maybe I think I'd gone for the slightly older MacBook Pro with the USBs in there, SD card readers. The other thing that I eventually kind of got to the idea was that you are stuck with what you buy unless you spec it up to begin with, and you are still then stuck with what you buy. And the way things are going with things like GFXs and 100 meg raw files from them and things like that, space is going to become a premium. And unless you're buying multiple external hard drives or NAS drives or things like that, I wanted something, you know, that was there. If I was doing a location shoot or something, I wanted something that was going to be better for me space-wise. So what I decided to do was to look into Windows 10. And I had been using Windows with other laptops and things like that. And Windows 10 has come along a long way. It's very Mac-like now, where gestures are concerned, multiple working spaces, multiple desktops, and I've warmed to it, and I'm starting to begin again and to understand and get used to Windows again. I still think personally the Mac operating system is so much more intuitive, but you are still kind of locked down to the way Apple wants you to do things. Now that's fine if you're happy to do that, but sometimes you want to be a bit more freedom and express a bit more, and Windows does allow you to do that. So I've embraced Windows fully now. I don't own any Apple Mac stuff. When it came around for my phone to be upgraded, I went for an Android phone, and I actually find that I'm not really missing it. anything I did miss or anything I think that I would miss, there has been something else to replace it. And the other big reason I went for a PC was the upgradability of it. And the fact that you can go and get parts and new graphics cards, new internal hard drives, all those types of things actually relatively cheaply, and they're not too difficult to do yourself. So the tower I've got behind me, I paid about 300 quid for. It came with a 1 terabyte standard hard drive, a 7 series Intel i5 processor, about 3 gigahertz, 8 gig of RAM, no operating system, it's got USB 3 on it and things like that. I then decided to upgrade it, so I bought a new power pack for it. I've bought 5 gig of dedicated graphics card, I've upgraded the RAM, and I had an external 5 terabyte hard drive. I took it apart and put that internal, and I bought an SSD. And in total, I think I've spent maybe £600–700 at a push. When I look at the £2 and a bit grand Apple MacBook Pro I bought and the £600 I've spent on this, I've actually got a faster machine. And some people may go, no, the Apple's going to be faster. It's not. It's pretty much on spec with the processor I had in the MacBook. I now have serious dedicated graphics to this. And I have that freedom to put as many hard drives in as I need or swap them out, and because they're internal, they read and write quicker than external drives. I'm not paying out for the expense of having USB-C or Thunderbolt external drives. You're getting that SATA connection inside. So what I then found was my longevity of this product is actually better. Because if I start running out of space, I can buy a newer hard drive, a bigger hard drive. I can add more RAM. I've still got the ability to add more RAM to it. I could swap out the graphics card. I could put a bigger power unit in it if I needed to give it some more power, all that type of stuff. Didn't have that with the MacBook Pro. It was just the MacBook Pro. So to sum up, the only real thing I miss is that Mac operating system and its intuitiveness and slickness. There's gestures with the Magic Mouse and things like that that I had got so accustomed to, and all the keyboard shortcuts. But I think over time I will get accustomed to the Microsoft way again. So whether I'll really miss them in the long run, I don't know. I don't think I miss much else. It's nice to be able to do things the way I want to do them on the Mac. On the Microsoft, on the Windows 10, and I'm not missing out on much at all. I've paid out a lot less. I kind of made a load of money back when I sold my MacBook Pro, and I replaced it with a PC sitting here doing all the heavy editing, and also bought a Microsoft Surface, so I've still got that ability to go out and about and shoot tethered to that if I wanted to, which comes with a USB port and things like that. So in all, as a photographer, as a Mac man, Windows 10 isn't too bad. Going outside that Apple world isn't too scary. Things like iClouds and syncing of all this kind of stuff, it does exist outside the iCloud world. The only big problem we have is the fact that Nathan hasn't done it, so we're working on slightly different systems. Nathan said he's a Mac man through and through, and he's not going to change. But for me, I know in the future when I need to change this or upgrade it, it's going to be a lot cheaper for me to do, and I can kind of do the thing I want to do. I do have plans either this year or next year to build from scratch my own PC with tower, with processor, you name it. I'm going to buy it all at scratch and build the spec I want, and I still think that will be cheaper than trying to buy a Apple that is of a similar spec. So all in all, I'm pretty satisfied and happy with what I did and why I did it. And if this helps maybe you to make a decision of, do I stick with Apple or do I pay out the expensive upgrade? Is it easy to change and go back to Windows? Was Windows 10 okay? I think all of that is completely possible. It's muscle memory changing and going back to something else, different keyboard layouts, but just give it time and it'll be all right. So hopefully you may have found this helpful. Please don't bash me too hard if you're an Apple fan guy. I'm not saying I hate Apple or anything. I still love Apple products. I think they're designed incredibly well. Just from a personal point of view, I thought I'd save a bit more money but still keep my performance. So as always, please like, comment and subscribe, and look forward to the next video from us. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon.